Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new around here. My name is Ashley and I go by the Ashleyness here. Today we are playing Planet Zoo and this is my Esme Zoo and we are on episode number 6. As you can see, as we fly over the zoo, we've made quite a lot of progress. Each and every episode we do, the zoo grows and grows. We do have the areas boxed up to where we can see where we're going to have construction. And we are going to go ahead and work on 2 spots in this video. But in our last video, we worked on our beautiful gift shop. And today's video, we're going to work on this walkthrough. This is going to be called our Little Critter Nature Walk. So in this area, what we're going to do is first, we're going to go ahead and get rid of this fencing. Whoa. Have a little zoom out issue there, and then we're going to go ahead and get working on it. Now I have 8 of these enclosures. I'm not going to show you each and every one of them because let's face it, that'd be kind of boring considering they're all going to be built the same way. So instead, what we're going to do is I'm going to build one, and then I'm going to make actually a blueprint of that one, and then I'm going to carry it throughout the other 7. So as you watch, I'm trying to find a thatch roof that I like. I had kind of a little struggle figuring out if I wanted to do like a really big one or a really little one. And then I had a hard time getting it to fit. So I actually took 2 of them on here to get it to work, and I still had to adjust it. So I'm just fussing with it now, getting everything evened out. As you can see, I still had a little issue. I don't think it ever fully went away, but it was enough to please the eye. So we went ahead and found bamboo to go ahead and finish up the siding. And as a reminder, our zoo is in the tropical biome, and so the idea is that mostly throughout the zoo it's going to be tropical themed. I don't know if I'm going to change it too deeply if we get into other biome animals, because as of this time we have been doing tropical themed animals as well. So here I'm just making the platform and just making sure that it fits properly. And I'm just raising it up so that it matches on the top and the bottom for cohesiveness. And yes, it kind of is glitchy, and I don't really know how to fix that really, and so I kind of just cover it up using this fence a little bit. And I thought it added a nice little texture to it. We're almost done with this build. It really doesn't take very long. I thought about doing like greenery with it as well, but I decided against it as the plants just really didn't fit. So I did start to favor this fencing. I think it looked really nice on the sides, and I didn't like how glitchy the base was being with the bamboo, and so I did switch it around a little bit here. And you know, I didn't mind this bar on here. I thought it would actually kind of worked well, because I'm kind of trying to do kind of like a mix between rustic and modern and tropical all at the same time. And I don't know if you can hear that, but my dogs are running all over this room and it is loud. So I apologize if you're hearing any extra noises around me. Anyway, here's the last little bit. I'm just adding in the little signs, and that is pretty much it, just making it even. And then I'm going to use some movie magic and complete this walkthrough. As you will see, we're going to do a little walk through here, and it's just going to be awesome. It is so lush and so pretty. I love these paths. I love how nice this looks. And I think it's just like a nice little break from like the rest of the zoo. It kind of is tucked away and it makes it look and feel like a little tropical retreat. Now in this area, I did add some speakers to make it sound like the jungle as well. So here we're going to be working on the lemurs now. So as I promised, we were working on 2 areas, and this is where we're going to jump right into it. So this is the large space dedicated to them, and we are going to get rid of that fence as you saw, and then we're just going to go ahead and start. So we're going to start with the viewing area here. And we're just outlining the habitat area here with the brick. We have been doing a lot of the red brick, painted white brick, and bamboo, green bamboo as our bits and pieces, and also kind of different colored plasters. Now I did have a little struggle here because I wanted it to be close to this other building, but not like right on top of it. And so I ended up kind of struggling with the design and the angle here. In the end, it worked out, but it did take a little finessing. And then I realized how far off I was when I removed that tree. I was like, darn it. And then I didn't, yeah, it was like, you see, it's kind of got a weird angle going on here. And so I ended up shortening this up, and so making it less of a dramatic angle, which I think turns out way better. This is also where the building is going to be, is where that brown patch of dirt is. I kind of pre-mapped out things a little bit so I could remember my plan. As you know, sometimes you get kind of excited and then it's like, what was I going to do again? And so this is helping me remember what I was trying to do. Now, the idea for these habitats is that the animals are going to be able to have kind of like an outdoor area that is public and then an indoor space that is private. And I want the indoor space to be very large. And kind of as natural as we can get it. So here we're just kind of finishing up the outside edges. And as we do this, I'm going to go ahead and give you some facts about our friends, the lemurs. The ring-tailed lemur is a medium to larger size primate and the most internationally recognized lemur species. Like all lemurs, it is epidemic to the island of Madagascar, where it is endangered. It ranges from the gallery forest to the spiny scrub in the southern regions of the island. It is omnivorous, and the ring-tailed lemur is highly social, living in groups known as troops of up to 30 individuals. It is also a female-dominant species, and a commonality among lemurs. To keep warm and reaffirm social bonds, groups will huddle together. Mutual grooming is another vital aspect of lemur socialization, as well as with all primates. Reaffirming social and familial connections while also helping rid each other of any potential insects. Ring-tailed lemurs are strictly active exclusively during daylight hours. Due to this lifestyle, they also sunbathe. The lemurs can be observed sitting upright on their tails, exposing their soft white belly fur towards the sun. They will often have their palms open and eyes gently closed. Like other lemurs, this species relies strongly on their sense of smell. The black and white ruffled lemur, on the other hand, is an endangered species and is known as a ruffled lemur, one of 2 which are also on the island of Madagascar. Despite having a larger range than the red-tailed ruffled lemur, it has a much smaller population that is spread out, living in the lower population densities and reproductively isolated. It is also has less coverage and protection in a large national parks than the red ruffled lemurs. They spend most of their time in the high canopy of the seasonal rainforest on the eastern side of the island. Their diet consists mainly of fruit, although nectar and flowers are also favored, followed by leaves and some seeds. The black and white ruffled lemur has a complex social structure and is known for its loud calls. Now, red-ruffled lemurs, say that 5 times fast, occurs only in the rainforest in the northeast of the island. It is one of the largest primates of Madagascar, with females that are slightly larger than males. The red-ruffled lemur is a very clean animal and spends a lot of time grooming itself in a social grooming groups. The red-ruffled lemur lives 15 to 20 years in the wild. In captivity, it can live up to 25 years and is not uncommon too. And one lived to be about 33 years old. The primates often live in small matriarchal groups of 2 to 16 individuals. The group sizes of up to 32 have been recorded. Its diet consists primarily of fruit, nectar, and pollen. Leaves and seeds may be eaten when fruit becomes scarce. Recent studies show that they are critically endangered with a declining wild population. The population of red-ruffled lemurs is directed by a species survival plan. Several of the zoos work with each other in breeding and caring for captive populations. Back at our build, you can see we've made quite a lot of progress. Now, we have a lot of these statues and images of the lemurs that are put up. And right now I'm just kind of searching for more as we look. As I'm scrolling away, trying to find things that may be of interest to the lemurs and of our guest. And here I'm just trying to put some like logs and play areas in the area so they can jump around and climb and be silly. We're just moving along, trying to find more interesting things to add here to liven it up. And I do settle on getting these vines. And yes, I cut down on the number of lemurs on the wall. It makes it look much better. And again, my dogs are tippity-tappeting around, and I'm sure you can hear it, and I apologize for the extra noise. So here we're just continuing through, adding more vines, making it a little more nice looking, in my opinion. I would like to hear yours though. If you have any opinions or comments or anything like that, I would love to hear them. I absolutely enjoy hearing from everybody. It's part of the fun for me. So then I add some greenery. If you've noticed, this is the same vine type that I've been using on the other buildings. I'm just carrying that through to make it look more lush and beautiful. Just kind of adjusting a few of the things here. And then I'm just going ahead and trying to find the lemur things so that we can go ahead and start putting down the enrichment items in their habitat. And I do try to go for more of a natural look outside versus like things that would be kind of weird. I did put the sprinkler out there just because it felt weird to have that indoors instead of outdoors. And I felt like they wanted it and needed it, so I used it. Here I'm just kind of adjusting the logs to make it a little more playful looking. Hitting play so everything can adjust. And then we're gonna go ahead and start working on the inside. So on the inside we have the water, some more enrichment items that would maybe be more typically out, you know, in like a zoo, less natural looking. So here I'm just building like a little climb structure that will eventually hold their bedding so that they feel like they can be a little elevated like they would be in the trees when they're resting. I like to use like the hay and then with the leaves on top so that it looks a little bit more like they, you know, well, yeah, there's hay for them, but like maybe they gathered leaves from their structures or their plants in their area and they maybe added it to their own bedding. Here I'm just adding a little bit more of the enrichment. And then I'm making it look a little bit more outside-y. I don't know if that's a word, outside-y. You're gonna have to tell me, I don't know. It seemed appropriate to me to say outside-y. So here we're getting the actual animals. We're starting with the black and white ones. Just kidding, we're gonna start with the ring-tailed ones. And I'm just checking to make sure of their social groups because I wasn't really sure at the time when I was filming. And sometimes it is different in the zoo. So, I mean, it is a simulation. And so I don't know what stats they have. And so I, always want to check. It's good to know. So now I have all of my lemurs and I'm just going to go ahead and make the fencing. I almost forgot I hadn't done the fencing. Part of me feels like it would be so much easier if we just, once we create a natural closure like barriers and things like with walls, that it should just automatically count as a barrier. But because that would be so much easier than, okay, now we do the null barrier. But I understand for like the sake of like the game that it needs to actually be defined. Because like if you had something like this in real life and you popped an animal in there, they're obviously not going to escape. It's not open. But like in terms of the game, in its dynamics, it feels like it's an open space, even though there is walls. So here I'm just creating a space for the door to actually go, and then I'm just adjusting these to make it look more cohesive. And then just, making the little back path here. And now I'm putting the lemurs in so we can check for like foliage needs and all the good stuff. Look at the crowd. So I thought that was so funny. All the crowd, they rushed into our new food court there that we had made in the last episode because I hadn't actually hit play like since I made it. So they were just like, oh my gosh. And they all just ran in there. It was insane. And then I don't know if you noticed, but on the sign there, we're getting a lot of notifications. And that is actually because of our little critters walkthrough, because I don't have the signs appropriately made for them yet. And so they're like, what do you mean? You can't do that. It's not assigned properly, blah, 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 blah. So I do fix that off camera, but just so you know, that's what that notification is. Everybody is doing okay otherwise. So here we're just doing some landscaping. I love landscaping. I do it extensively. If you can't tell, I love it. I do it a lot. And our lemurs are already running around like little funyuns there. They're having a lot of fun. And then I also did it where it was like the climbable properties, so I could make sure they had a lot of spaces and natural builds, things to climb. Now I found for some reason, I don't know if you guys are having this problem too, but like the trees, like while they're climbable, if I don't put this little climbing stick in the trunk, like it's not even like they can't even touch it for reals. If I don't put that stick in the base, look at them up there on the tree. If I don't put them in the base, they can't climb it. So I don't understand what the logic is there, but once I put the stick in there, then they can climb up the whole tree. So I don't understand what's up with that, but it is what it is. Like I said, I'm curious if your game has that issue too. Anyway, I'm just adding some vines in here to make it a little more interesting looking, a little more jungly, less park-like. This one is pretty clean. It's not very, not as cluttered. Right now anyways. Look at them go. They're having so much fun. I love lemurs. They're so cute. They're just so fluffy. Some of them are. Oh, you got one sunbathing right there. I don't know if you spotted that. Here we go. Just adding more greenery, adding more dynamic rocks. And then I really wanted these to work. Like I usually use like a lot of them, but then it was like they were quite big, so I couldn't use too many because I didn't want to block their paths on accident and have it where they couldn't use them. Look at them go, they're so fluffy. Quick save. Always want to save when you can. You don't need any crashing. And then here I'm just doing the signs. And then it occurs to me that like this is only holding one at a time, and so I raise it up really high. And then I'm able to get all three in here. and I think it looks really nice. So I do continue through and repeat this in a couple spots, as you're going to see. So I replace that one, and then I use this big one. And then I actually twist it around backwards too, so that it's so the guest on the other side can see too. I always have a hard time remembering to do my education signs, especially because I play in sandbox mode, and it's just, you know, they automatically make it where they're all satisfied with education, and so I don't really think about it like, oh, I guess I could put some species signs up, I could put some education signs in, you know. And it's just like, this zoo particularly, I've been doing a really good job with doing lighting, which I'm gonna have to make sure to show at some point. I don't in this video, but anyway, you know, because like, oh, the zoo's gonna get dark at some point in real life, you know. Well, I don't think about that because I'm in sandbox mode, and I have it set to where like the weather is always sunny, and it's like perfect, and it's always noon and high noon, and the lighting is always good, you know. And so like, trying to take into consideration all of those things is really important. Anyway, we're here at the end of the video, and I think it turned out really, really great. I really appreciate you guys watching, and I hope to hear from you. Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment if you can. I love hearing from you. I most of all hope you are inspired, and I hope you have a beautiful day, night, or whatever time it is for you. Bye.